Rob Kendall speaking with Tyler Bless, the head coach of the Plainfield Quakers. Coach, how's it going?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
Doing great. Obviously, look, Friday night didn't go the way kind of you guys wanted it to. And so let's start there. Look, that's a long way to go. That's a really good team. You guys got them earlier this year. You guys probably knew you were in for a dogfight.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of knew what we were getting ourselves in when the sectional draw happened, and you got to give your hat off to Lafayette Harrison. They played well, and they deserve the right to win, and they are a good football team and really well coached. So best of luck to them moving forward.
Kind of take us through what a kind of a sectional week is like for you guys. I know we talked a little bit about it going in, but man, it just seemed like, tough conditions out there, a long bus ride. It really is truly a luck of the draw in your sectional because of the geography of where the teams are.
Yeah, I mean, the sectional draw it kind of is what it is in terms of who's in our team or who's in our sectional and where we have to go. But I thought our bye week was really good. We gave the kids Monday and Friday off of the first week, and then came back in last week and really, honestly, had really good practices. Thought we competed well with each other. Did some good on good situations. Put them in some situational football. A couple of days of defense got the offense. A couple of days of offense got the defense. So I think our players were ready to play. I think we were there mentally. I just honestly think that we didn't execute very well on either side of the ball at critical points of the game on Friday. And unfortunately, Harrison took advantage of those opportunities and they came away with points and we did not. So that's unfortunate. And that's something that we're going to have to work on in the offseason.
Yeah, obviously, listening to the broadcast on Friday as it's playing out and producing the game, you guys respond, right? They go down, score, you guys respond. You're saying, okay, hey, we're right where we need to be. And it just seemed like after the kind of failed 2-point conversion, we just couldn't get the momentum back. Talk us through what you saw out there.
Probably a really bad call by me. Probably should have kicked the PAT and tied the ball game, but that's something I got to learn and just be better at. I thought that probably the most critical point of the game was, I believe the score was 15-13. We had just again failed on a fake punt, 4th and 1. Probably hindsight being 2020, should have just put our offense out there and tried to get the yard with our offensive line and our tailback. But thought that we had the numbers for the punt, and we did not block it correctly, and that's on our players and our coaches for not executing that. But then we got our defense held and got them to a 3rd and long, and then there's honestly 6 guys around one receiver, and the receiver comes up with the football and he scores a touchdown, makes it 22-13, I believe. I thought that was the most critical part of the game where, okay, we got to stop here, hold them to a field goal at best, and still in reach of getting some touchdowns to get back into the game. But I thought that really kind of took the wind out of our sails, so to say, right before halftime. And then obviously they got the ball to start of the 3rd quarter and went down and scored as well.
There's some games where you say, I don't know how much difference home field makes. Like when, take, for example, Brownsburg played Ben Davis on Friday night. It's not that far of a trip, right? It's literally right up 10th Street. It's 5 miles, whatever. But in this case, you've got incredibly even kind of different weather going on there than what you've got going on here. This was one of those weeks that seemed like we're home field advantage, and you guys saw it earlier this year against Harrison with the win at your place. It just makes a huge difference.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how much of a difference it makes. I mean, we still got to play football. You still got to tackle. You still got to block. You still got to do all the things. All the weather stuff is kind of out of your control. It's just how you handle it mentally. But I mean, it was, to be honest with you, Rob, it was windy all week here at practice, and I thought our kids did fine. I don't think it affected our passing game. The rain in the 4th quarter was a little bit of a surprise, but I mean, we played in rain game before versus Martinsville, so I don't know if it's anything. It may be a home field advantage. I'm not sure, but I feel like it was more of just executing on our end.
What does a conversation at halftime look like in that game? Because as you said, look, you responded twice. You got down there, did kick the extra point 2nd time. It's 15-13. You're right in position, and then that big play that you talked about, where nobody's fault. Sometimes plays just don't go your way. What's the conversation like at halftime? Because you guys are still kind of in the ball game.
Honestly, it was really good halftime. I mean, our kids were still locked in. They were still there mentally. Coaches were there mentally. We were down, I believe, 2 scores. We had been in this situation before earlier in the season at Terre Haute South, and obviously against Harrison when we were down 14-0. I know that wasn't at halftime, but kind of had been there before. Our kids were upbeat and positive. We just needed to go out and create a stop on defense and then get something going on offense. And I think we were there mentally, we were there physically. We just had to go out and do it, and we didn't do it.
All right. So kind of with the postseason show, and we've been doing this for many years now, we kind of take a look back at the season that was, get some overarching thoughts, and then maybe take a brief look ahead to next year. I'm curious. Let's start with you. Your first year as a head high school football coach. You start off 5-0, kind of finish the season 1-4. What did you learn this year? What did you learn about yourself? What did you learn about your coaching strategy? What do you take with you from your opening season as a Plainfield football coach?
I think the number one thing is to continue to take it day by day. And, whether it was me or our coaches or our players or whoever's involved with Plainfield football, I mean, we've got to do a better job of really just handling success and taking it day by day and not looking ahead on who's our opponent or who's this. Like, we've got to do a better job of focusing on us and having great attitudes and great efforts and understanding that our league is only going to get better here in the future. And there's not a game on our schedule where you could just say, well, that's an automatic win. Like, we've got to go earn the right to win every single Friday. And you do that by showing up for lifting and showing up for meetings and having great practices Monday through Thursday and being coachable and doing what you're asked to be do or told, and then going out and executing. I mean, those are things that it's the basics of football, but like they still hold true, whether it's little league, middle school, high school, college, NFL. Like, if you can't block and if you can't tackle, then you're going to be in a world of hurt on Friday night. So overall, just feel very, like you said, start off 5-0 and everything was great and everybody loves you, and you finish 1-4 and the phone is silent. So those are things that you've got to handle mentally, but also it is very motivating to continue to prove people that Plainfield football is not just a fluke. It's not just the same old Plainfield. We've got a vision that we want to do here with our coaches and with our players that we're going to go and work for every single day in the offseason and prove those people wrong.
Have you kind of in your mind thought through, because it seems like kids are still playing hard, same group of kids, what the difference between the kind of two halves of the season were? Because again, same kids, everybody's working hard, same coaches, just kind of a different result both ways. Have you been able to kind of think that through in your head?
Yeah, I mean, I flat out think we have to be mentally and physically tougher. I mean, we go on the road versus a really good Whiteland team, and regardless of what their record was at that time, and they played in the state championship last year. Those guys are physically tough and mentally tough, and we didn't respond to adversity well at all that game. Turn around and have a chance to win a share of the conference at home versus Martinsville on senior night, and came out flat, didn't play. So those are things that we've got to do as coaches better. But those are things that our players have to do better in terms of being mentally and physically tough every single day, not just when we want to go play and we pick and choose when we want to go hard and when we don't want to go hard.
I'm curious what the conversation is like after the ball game, because obviously it's not just hey, this game didn't go our way. It's, hey, the season is over now. And part of what you do is not just coach football, you mold young people to be better adults. And these are the sort of experiences that make people better adults eventually. So what's the conversation like after the game? Is there been any more contact with the team? How does it play out after a season comes to an end?
Yeah, I mean, first we've thanked our seniors for everything that they've done. Most of them have played for 4 years in high school, and most of them played since they were, in third grade. So those guys, some of them will move on and play college football, and I know that they will do well at that because it's very important to them. But there's other guys where that's more than likely the last time they're going to play high school football or play the game of football. So you got to thank them for all the stuff that they've done, and we've asked them to do. We asked them to buy into what we believed in, and they did, and they showed up every day and went to work, and they kind of set the foundation of what we want Plainfield football to be on the trust, love, and commitment that our core values are. So it was major thanks to our seniors. It was hopefully motivation to our underclassmen of the freshmen that we brought up, the sophomores that were with us, obviously, and the juniors. So there was a lot of hugs, there was a lot of tears in the locker room, but those guys, I feel very fortunate to be able to coach them and thank them for allowing me to coach. And then we'll have a team meeting Monday afternoon to have senior talks and then turn in our equipment and have those guys be ready to go for their winter sports and the winter off season.
I was thinking about this, listening to the end of the game Friday, and it's like with my job, until they tell me my services are no longer required, there is no end date to it, right? It's like you just get up, and if you have a bad show, then the next day you go out there and, hey, we'll do better tomorrow. Yours is literally week by week, and then there comes a point where it's just over for like 9 months. And I just maybe walk us through that, what it's like to be a coach where you are in that environment where even during the season, you still got to wait a whole week if you don't perform the way you want. Now you got to wait 9 months, and I bet you're just chomping at the bit already to get back in the weight room and start the 2024 season.
Yeah, our players and our coaches will obviously take some time off. I think it's needed. I think we go at it for. I think we started June 5th, and there's a few days off here and there, but probably a good month away from just maybe the daily grind of everything will be good for coaches, players. Like I said, some of our players are going to go play a winter sport, and that's obviously encouraged. But for us as coaches, we'll take some time off. We'll look at some stuff in film. You've got a bunch of meetings that you have to attend for Mid-State, for IFCA. So there's always something to be doing. There's reconditioning. There's recruiting for our senior athletes. There is an off season, but it's a different off season than it was, maybe 5, 10, 15 years ago as a head coach. So something that I'm prepared for, and something that, I kind of knew what I was getting myself into. So it'll be nice to spend some time with my family, get back to, being a dad and a husband first, and a football coach third.
I was talking with some people over the weekend about this, and it is amazing how good high school football is in Indiana and how hard it is. I don't think people realize how hard it is to win in the postseason. I mean, you think about even a couple years ago, your dad had an undefeated team at Avon that we had the privilege of calling all year long. First round, run into a good Brownsburg team. Season's over. Brownsburg ran into that last night or Friday night. Number one team in the state, undefeated. Run into a good Ben Davis team. Season over. It is so hard to win in the postseason in high school football now. And like you guys are kind of the same way, right? I mean, Harrison's an incredible football team. It's a lot of luck, and man, it is hard, and people should celebrate when you do win, because it's just very tough.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. You've got to bring it every week, and you've got to be able to lock into everything that your coaches or your teammates are asking you to do. And it's whether you're a 1A school or a 6A school, like, it's hard to win football games. So when those do happen, you got to celebrate it. When they don't, you've got to be extremely motivated internally to make sure that it doesn't happen again, and to figure out what's going on, and to be better the following week, or in our situation for next year.
All right, real quick before we put a bow on the 2023 season, let's thank our sponsors again: CJ's Pizza, Whitlow's Towing, Gunnell Financial, Remax Centerstone, Julia Burbridge, Midwest Pizza, BGW Construction, Porter Hair Design, Holly Porter, My IT Indy, I-70 Wrecker Service and Garage, Ellison Associates, Remax, Chipotle, and Double D Barbecue. Coach, real quick, I did want to mention this. It's every year with Plainfield football, but another phenomenal year of sponsors. You have so many great people who support the Plainfield football program from a financial standpoint.
Yeah, this year was no different, and the people that are behind the scenes in our quarterback club, and the people that have sponsored us through either the golf outing in July, or it's carried over to people donating waters and Gatorades, or Pizza King and here in Plainfield donating Thursday night meals to everybody involved. It's those things go a long way. I don't think people maybe realize how hard it is to organize that, and to communicate that, and to just kind of go out. And sometimes I feel like maybe I'm a salesman rather than a football coach, on asking, companies or businesses here around town, just for their support. So very appreciative of them, very appreciative of the people in our quarterback club for doing those things and having meetings in the off season. And I know it's the same faces, probably every month, but I do appreciate everything that they've done, and I'm very thankful for the people involved in playing football.
Yeah, I mean, we you talk with Coach Woodard about this all the time, that you are a CEO, right? I mean, you're not just a football coach. In modern era, popularity of high school football, the money involved in it, the resources involved in it, you're a CEO. You aren't just a football coach.
I appreciate you saying that, Rob.
You have the CEO look about you, Coach. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah, probably not.
All right, before we go, give you kind of the final thoughts on the 2023 season. Anybody you want to make sure gets a mention or gets a thanks, we'll turn the floor over to you, because it is indeed the Tyler Bless Show.
Thank you. Obviously want to again thank our 16 seniors that we have that we have played for us, whether it's just 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, or 4 years. I mean, those guys are very important to me. Being the first seniors that I was able to be their head coach, and obviously built a relationship with all of them last year as well. But very proud of them. I know it's not the way that we wanted it to end. I don't ever like ending the season. Not the way that we want to, but I know most of those guys are going to go to play college football, and I wish them the very best. I know that those are their dreams and aspirations, but the ones that are not, they're going to continue to be phenomenal students and phenomenal people here once they graduate high school. So major thanks to the seniors, thanks to their parents as well for everything that they've done and what we've asked them to do. But then just thank our players for doing what we asked them to do. I mean, we go at this thing from, you look back from last year after the regional loss to Whiteland, we started, I think, the Monday after Thanksgiving. And that was obviously with lifting, and you get into spring ball in April, and then you get into summer football in June. Like it's a 12-month job for a football player. And then on top of that, most of those kids go play another sport. So whether that's basketball or wrestling or track or baseball, I mean, these kids are very busy, and then they have a commitment that they want to, obviously play football, but they also are, high school kids. So I have major respect for them, because they're the ones that are doing hard things. I know they thank me for allowing me to coach, but I really am just trying to motivate and encourage them to be better football players and to be better people. I mean, I have a ton of respect for them, because they're the ones putting the helmet and shoulder pads on, that are having to do difficult things. I mean, we've got 80 players on our football team, and we've got a student body of just over 1,700, or about 1,775 in our building. So not everyone's a football player. It's hard. It's demanding, and those that do it I have a ton of respect for and a ton of love for. So appreciate them. Obviously, I appreciate our coaching staff for the things that I've asked them to do, but also just for them showing up on a day-to-day basis, and the sacrifices that they've made for their families, being away from them, but also just the trust that I have in them to coach our young men. So I want to thank our coaching staff, and then want to thank our parents for the support throughout the season. And then lastly, want to thank our administrative team for the belief in me and our coaching staff to lead our football program. So it was a solid season. It had a lot of different highs and lows. I think we've set hopefully a standard of where we want this thing to go. But I know that our players are not satisfied with going 6-4. I know that we've got we've got a lot of guys coming back for next year. We're going to have some guys that have to step up and fill some really important shoes. But those are things that we'll think about here, in a month or 2 months' time. Really, now the time is just to reflect on our seniors and our season and how special it was. So appreciate everything that you've done for us, and thank you for all your support as well.
Yeah, Coach, I'll just put it with this. It's an honor every year to be asked to be a part of Plainfield football. This is our 16th year. We love every minute of it. We love this program. We loved, obviously, working with Coach Woodard before you and now yourself. And, man, we just always feel like home here. And so from our perspective, we're excited to get back into it. And then we'll do a preseason show next June or July, and we'll be ready to rock and roll. So you and the program have a great rest of your winter, and we'll look forward to just covering you guys again next year. And thanks for allowing us to be a part of the program.
Absolutely. Thank you for all you do. And I'm sure June and July will be here before we know it.
All right, Coach Bless. The kids are saying they're ready to go, so we'll let it go. Coach, thanks as always. Have a great day. Yep, we'll see you, buddy.
All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.